Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of the class. We are well beyond the halfway point in this class, and most of you are doing very well. There is one concern I have, and that's that I don't see a lot of week 5 um, assignments, and I don't see the Facebook. I think one person did the Facebook assignment. I know that the summertime is a time where most people will be relaxing and hopefully by the beach, possibly sipping margaritas. But this is a class. You are graded on these assignments. And while Facebook does not necessarily constitute a major part of your grade, it is a part of your grade. So you do need to be posting there. You do need to be submitting assignments on time. So far, I've graded everything except week 5, and I believe there's only 2 assignments. I'll be taking care of those tomorrow. But I do want to introduce week 6, which focuses on cause and effect. We are going to be looking at cause and effect essays. We're going to be writing a quiz. We're going to be taking a quiz on cause and effect this week. In this week's my comp lab assignment, we're also going to be looking at my father, the geezer, which is going to be a Facebook post for the week, which does look at cause and effect. Okay, as we've said before, looking at that chapter on writing cause and effect, you want to go beyond the obvious when it comes to analyzing for cause and effect in an essay, in a reading. Okay, what are some of the simple causes and effects of Mary Roach's My Father the Geezer? Go beyond the obvious because my father was older. He couldn't play ball with me. Go beyond that. What are some of the things that may take place years and years down the road if you have an older parent or a younger parent? Myself, I had older parents, and as a result, there were a lot of things that got skipped over. I didn't get to play ball with my father. He was much older, so we couldn't do that. Focusing on what he could do, obviously, was how I got through that time. But for your essay, you're going to be working on picking a successful person. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. You want to pick someone that you can do a fair amount of research on without having to read this gigantic, 500-page autobiography or biography, because, you have a week to do this. It should be fairly simple. I'm looking for about 1,500 words. Um, no Wikipedia. I do not accept Wikipedia as a valid choice, okay, for sources. And, speaking of sources, second part of this, we're going to take a look at MLA in-text citations. Okay, so if you'll join with me on page, well, there's an actual section here. It's actually chapter 33 through 35 in the book. And it deals with MLA in-text citation. Oftentimes people will open it up and just be like, oh my goodness gracious, how do I do this? It's really quite simple. Anytime you borrow information from a source, let's say you're borrowing it from an internet news article, you need to show where you got that, okay? Or else you could be accused of plagiarism, right? When you take a source, you have two parts to MLA citation. The first part, which I'm going to go over now, is within the text. So let's say you quote from a source, or you paraphrase it, or you summarize it. Those are 3 ways we do it. You actually, in parentheses, include the author's last name, comma, page number, okay, and the parentheses. And then your period actually comes after that, okay? So if you're quoting, include the quotation marks, parentheses, author's last name, comma, page number, and then the parentheses. Okay, now I get a lot of questions on what happens if we don't have an author's last name. Well, if you're citing from an internet article, all you need to do within the parentheses is include the title of the page. Under no circumstances are you allowed to include like the HTTP back, whatever it is. You always include the title of the page in quotes. This should always be a title. And if you don't have a title or an author, maybe you want to check out a different source because sometimes these sources are put on the internet. If you can't really verify the information, that means it's not credible. And you always want to make sure that you're using credible sources when it comes to you incorporating it into your research paper. So that's how you do the in-text citations. Okay. People ask me, how often do I use in-text citations? Again, every time you quote, paraphrase, or cite from a source. Okay. For some people, it's going to be after every sentence they may have an in-text citation. And that's fine as long as you are using a variety of sources. You do not, and that's where we come into synthesizing, but you do not want, an entire paragraph for one source, paragraph 2 for another source. You want to mix it up. You want to keep, it balanced. You want to show that you can take two sources with different information or similar information and bring it into one essay in a way that makes sense, in a way that flows smoothly, and in a way where it satisfies the needs for the assignment. Okay, so that's the first part, in-text citation. The second part is your references section. Now, references is where you got your information from. And let's take a look here at the examples. It's actually chapter 34, and it talks about a works cited list. You're going to hear me sometimes use it interchangeably. The works cited, references page, bibliography. It really doesn't matter what you call them. Some teachers are a little bit more strict than I am. If you call it a bibliography, that's fine. If you call it a works cited page, that's fine. If you call it a references page, that's fine. Okay? Don't get hung up on that. However, there is a formatting requirement for this. Okay, but you want to go to click on paragraph for your references section, and you're going to look at where it says first line indented by ½ inch. You actually want to click on that and look for a hanging indent. Normally, in a paragraph, your first line is indented by ½ inch. However, on the references page, your indent is actually ½ inch the other way, so it looks. I'll send an example, but it looks a little bit different from a normal paragraph. And that's the standard formatting in which we use. I have to use it for my doctoral work. This is standard, okay? This is stuff you need to know, all right? So what are MLA guidelines? I've already gone over that. But if you look on page 221 in the quick access book, there are some common ones for how to include sources in your references page. Don't get overwhelmed. There's hundreds of them. The most commonly used ones I'm going to go over right now. And those commonly used ones are number 1, which is a book by one author. Okay? That is probably the most commonly used one. Or at least it used to be until we had the internet. So number 1 is a book by one author. You're going to notice that they always begin with the author's last name, comma, first name, and then you see a colon there, the title of the page, title of the book, period, the city of publication, the name of the publisher, period, the year of publication, and print. Print is very important because we either have print or web, and it's important that you do that, okay? So the first one, which is on page 221, okay? The second one is actually your magazine article, okay? The magazine article is on page, I hate this, periodical prints on page 228, all right? You will often find Time Magazine, Newsweek, okay, U.S. News and Report, The Atlantic. You want to look at numbers 24, 25, and 26. Okay, those are very common. Now, don't get those confused with online magazines like Time. That's actually something different. These are just simply for print sources. Okay. Now, when you are looking for web-based sources, and again, like I said, make sure that you are getting your sources from a reputable place. Time, Newsweek, Fox News, CNN, those are good places to look for sources. Okay. If you look here on page 234, you will see it says periodical article published only online, MLA. That would constitute Time Magazine, U.S. News Weekly. Okay, you're going to notice that it always starts off with the author's last name. right? That does never, very rarely, if ever, changes. Okay. So numbers 41 and 42, actually 42 is an online version of a print newspaper. You want to check those out. So numbers 1, number 24, I believe, number 24, 25, 26, 41, which is the periodical article published only. You also want to take a look at numbers 45, which is an online book. They seem to be becoming a very popular thing. And you want to be careful of number 48, which is a professional homepage, and number 49, which is a personal homepage. Okay, when you're gathering sources, you want to make sure, again, your sources are credible. And when you use, professional homepages, oftentimes they have something called an agenda, or they may have bias, which may basically mean either they want you to agree with them, or they want you to disagree with an idea, a concept. Like you'll see a lot of pages that are anti-abortion, anti-death penalty, and oftentimes their goal is not to give both sides of an issue, but just to brainwash you, just to prove that they're right and everybody else is wrong. Okay. Um, Number 50 is a page from a website. Okay, if you're using that. Okay. The other one that seems to be really catching on are like YouTube videos. I had a student who did an essay on Bruce Lee and actually cited from a YouTube video. Number 49 is an online video film clip. I understand that if you look before it, it actually says online interview. Don't worry about that. Just do the online video, which is number 59. Okay. Those, as far as I know, are the most commonly used ones. Occasionally we get what I call oddballs, which are ones that defy classification. I'm not sure which one it goes into. You want to email me and ask me about that. I will help you. That's my job here. Okay. But all of these must be in alphabetical order in the references list. Okay, A, B, C, you know how. Okay. And I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Don't get overwhelmed. Start looking for sources. I'd like to see at least 2 to 3 references for your successful person essay. So you're going to be picking a successful person, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, etc. And you're going to write about the person. 1,500 words. It's actually not that long. And you're going to discuss why this particular person is successful. You might say, well, he knew what he wanted from a young age, Steve Jobs. He knew he wanted to be in control. And I know his attitude was that IBM was the enemy. He had a very specific, very focused goal. So you only want to introduce information into your essay that really reinforces that, okay? Focus only on the aspects of success. I don't really want to hear about when they were born. People are not successful the second they come out of the womb, okay? And don't talk about somebody's 6th or 7th divorce. That doesn't give you the impression of somebody who's successful. But, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, pick your favorite musician. Hopefully they have some credibility and some standards. Some of them do not. You can pick authors like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, the Harry Potter author. I've seen so many of them. Trust me, I've seen a lot of those. Stephanie Meyer is one I haven't really seen much of. She's the one who wrote the Twilight series. Shoot me now. You can pick actors. Hopefully somebody with some credibility. Somebody has actually done the guy who did the Crow. Somebody's done George Clooney. Nobody's done Christian Bale. I'm surprised. He's actually a very good actor. I've seen quite a few. Somebody did Frank Sinatra one time, which was an interesting read. So you want to pick somebody that you're interested in, somebody that you actually have some, admiration for, maybe. Okay, and write about them. Write about what made them become successful. What were some of the challenges? How did they overcome them? Okay, because they're successful because they overcame, I don't know, bullying, or they overcame a drug addiction that started when they were very little. You want to pick someone that has had their fair set of challenges, and I think some of the most successful people out there really have overcome their challenges. Okay, I will be giving a more detailed look at MLA and text citations next week. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, I want to explain how come you haven't really been posting very much to Facebook. Please drop me a line. I'm always available. And I try to check my emails at once every 24 hours. Despite the fact that I work from home, it actually gets quite busy here. Seems like I'm busier now than I was when I was on campus all the time, which is something I'm still working on. But I will see you guys next week. I trust that you are working hard. If you hit any brick walls, like I said, all the assignments are available. If you are having trouble seeing assignment, like week 5 or 6, you need to email me or at least contact the help desk. Contact Pearson. They have a help desk available for you, so that way you don't have a problem. Okay. Take care, guys. I will talk to you next week.